Hi, my name is Susan Zandro. I'm coming from Career Services, and I'm here to talk to you about writing your resume. Thanks for joining me. We're going to be talking about how do you put your resume together, what are some of the parts of the resume, how do you build so that you're telling your story as best as you can in your resume to make you a standout candidate and get the job that you're looking for. So let's get started. So what is a resume? A resume is your marketing tool. How do you best sell yourself to an employer? It's not really meant to be long or thorough. It's meant to be an outline. It highlights your experiences, your skills, your accomplishments in just one page. So an outline, keeping things brief, making it easy to read. Your resume shows how your skills match what the employer is looking for in the job or internship. So what is a resume? It's a way to highlight your skills and get noticed by an employer so that you get an interview. So how do you put your resume together? Think of your resume like an assignment you'd have for class. You have to write an essay. You need the writing prompt to know what it is you're supposed to be writing about. You need your writing prompt to write your essay. What do you need in order to write a good resume? You need the job description. The job description is so important. The employer is giving you a gift. This is what they are looking for. And your task is to show the employer how you have the skills that they want. And so as you are putting your resume together, think about the job description. Each job description is different, so each resume you're going to be submitting is also going to be different. You never actually send the same resume out twice. And I know a lot of students hear that and think, oh my goodness, I have to create this over and over again. You're going to use 80, probably 90% of your master resume of all your experiences is going to be exactly the same. But you're going to look at the job description, find those keywords from the job description that match your skills and get those words into your resume so that you get noticed by the employer. So taking a look at the job or internship description, I've highlighted some of the keywords. How do you know if it's a keyword? Often it's repeated a number of times, like the word research here, or they're looking for a very specific skill. So when you identify these keywords, you want to make sure if you have these experiences or skills that you get them into your resume. So taking those keywords from the job description that we highlighted in yellow, here's just a sample of how these could be actually placed in several different locations on your resume, highlighting that you are a good match for the job description because you have several of the things that the job description is looking for. Now let's take a look at what a sample resume looks like. We have your contact information on the top. We have different sections running down the left side. We have a column of dates running down the right side. And so there's a very specific format. You will notice because this is an outline, we're not writing in full sentences, we're writing in phrases. We want to get the most important information at the top of your resume. It is estimated that you have about 6 seconds to make an impression. That's how long it's going to, you get the attention of your employer reading your resume. So that most important stuff's at the top. It's brief, it's quick information, and we want to make sure that the employer is giving you the attention that you deserve. Now let's take a look at some of the different sections in a resume. So taking a look at some of the sections in a resume, we start with your contact information at the top, your name being the largest piece of your resume because that's your marketing tool. We want that to stand out. Your objective is optional. You don't have to include it if you have a cover letter. But then we're going to focus on your education, your relevant courses, your technical, your lab skills, your projects or internships, a lot of the stuff that you're doing in school, because that's the most relevant experience you have to match a job description. But we can also talk about your work experience and several other sections, and we'll go through them one at a time. So the first section on your resume is optional. We call it your objective or your professional summary. If you're including a cover letter, you don't need this section. And notice that it's in a phrase. We're trying to be brief. Who are you and what is it you're looking for? Next is your education section. This will be at the top of your resume. We're going to start with the university that you're currently in because your resume is in reverse chronological order. You're going to write on the right side your graduation date, just the month and the year. You're going to write out the name of your degree, Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts. Do not write BA or BS. You can include a minor if you have one. If your GPA is above a 3.0, you can include that. If you're on the Dean's List, you can include that as well. Next is your relevant coursework. Notice that we are listing them in bullets. We want to get lots of information quickly to the employer. These are going to highlight the skills that you've acquired through taking these classes, and you will need to update these classes as you go through your years at UMass Boston because you want to have the highest level classes that you've taken to demonstrate your skills to your new employer. Some of your best skills can be highlighted in a skills section, whether they're laboratory skills for your bio or your chem, or maybe your technical skills of your computer science or IT, bullets, short phrases, highlighting your skills high up on your resume to show that you are a good match for the job description. If there are key skills in the job description, make sure you get them in here if you have them. This is your chance to show what you offer the employer. Another way to highlight the skills that you offer to an employer is to think about the projects you've done for your classes. These projects could be labs, they could be computer programs that you've worked on, something that really can highlight the skills you've acquired while you're in school. Take a look at that job description. Are there specific skills they're looking for? Do the projects you've done in school highlight some of these things for the employer? Here's your chance to explain how the skills that you've applied in school can really be very helpful to you in finding a job. Your internships, if you've had any, would be another great section to add. What skills did you learn while working at that internship that your employer that you're applying to would be interested in? Take a look at that job description. Are they looking for analyze? Did you do any analysis in your internship? Put it in here. Are they looking for data? And you've worked with data in your internship? Get it in here as well. These bullets can absolutely demonstrate the skills that the employer is looking for, showing your actual experience. Work experience is another section you can add to your resume. Often people have some work experience that's related to their position that they're applying to, and perhaps some experience that is not related. And we can actually break this experience section into relevant work experience and other work experience, depending on if it is applicable to the job that you're applying to. So this work experience here, this person is applying for a lab job. They're showing the skills that the employer is looking for by highlighting the things that they actually did, verb, what they did, and what they accomplished or why they did it. So looking at other work experience, things that are not related to the position that you're applying to. Should you include some of these jobs? Well, it depends. A, space is a premium. B, can you make this job relevant? Can you show that you got a promotion or that you accomplished something or that you learned specific skills that the employer you're applying to would be interested in? And so let's take a look at that. So how do you add these transferable skills? Again, we're not looking for all the tasks that you did in the job, but pick the things that really highlight what you accomplished. Did you increase customer sales? Did you improve the company efficiency? Did you create a new system? Did you rearrange the environment to make it better for the customers? Use numbers whenever possible. And what we're trying to do here is to show what you've learned at some of your jobs, maybe while you're working, you're also going to college. These skills can be very transferable, and we want to make sure we include them in the resume, but make them relevant to the position you're applying to. Here's an example of how you can show transferable skills, skills that from any job will apply to the job you're applying to. Notice how this student showed how many employees they worked with, that they were a supervisor, the fact that they created something, the fact that they have lots of numbers in here because they worked with over 300 customers a day. And so putting these transferable skills in means more to the employer than the small tasks that you did in your job. And make sure you show those transferable skills so that you are a good match for a job description. So here's a simple formula for writing your bullet points for each of your positions. Start with an action verb, in blue, which is shown here in brown. Then tell what you did, which is shown here in blue. And lastly, what were the results or what was the impact? What did you accomplish? We love numbers in bullet points. Whenever you can get a number into your bullet point, please add it. And so here's just some examples of how you can take your bullet points and use this formula to really highlight the skills that you offer the employer. Your bullet points in your resume are your way to highlight your skills. This student managed restaurant operations, but let's give a lot more detail here. Notice how they improved, how they expressed their skills. If you're having trouble figuring out how to do a bullet, meet one-on-one with a career specialist. We can help you work through how do you best highlight the skills you acquired in your job. Another way to improve your bullets is something called the PAR statement, problem, action, and result. Notice the person working for customer service, their bullet's too short. But by the time they worked it through, they added numbers. So they showed how many customers they worked for and what the results were. What were their accomplishments? Because that's more relevant to the job they're applying to than all the small tasks that they did in the job. If it's not relevant to the job you're applying to, find a way to highlight your accomplishments, not all your small tasks as part of your job. And here are some additional sections you could add to your resume. Each resume is different, so your resume will reflect the experiences that you have, but just some suggestions to get you started. Here's some feedback from employers as to why their resume did not get selected for an interview. If there's any grammatical or spelling errors, that they didn't change the information on the resume to be specific for the job they're applying for, that they didn't tailor the resume with keywords from the job description, that they listed a bunch of tasks that they did for their job, but not specifically going into how that applies to the job they're applying to. Using I in your resume is considered inappropriate. And it's not about what you gain from the experience, it's about how you match a job description. Wanted to mention something called the Applicant Tracking System, otherwise known as the ATS. This is the computer that first reads your resume. And the reason that it is used is to screen these applications to make sure that you fit the job description. So if the applicant tracking system is looking for Bachelor of Science, and if you wrote BS and abbreviated it instead of writing Bachelor of Science, your resume will get rejected because you don't meet the qualifications for the job. And so here are some tips for you to not have the problem with the applicant tracking system, to make sure that your resume gets noticed. The biggest reason the applicant tracking system rejects a resume is because the student used a template. A template is one of these resumes you can buy online that has lots of beautiful colors and formatting. Unfortunately, if the applicant tracking system can't read it, your resume gets rejected. So we wanted to make sure that you use just a simple Word document. Don't purchase a template online, and your resume will get read and submitted through the applicant tracking system. And it's just for some general rules is how do you set up that resume? Usually about 1-inch margins on all four sides. You can go up to 0.5 if you're really trying to get more information in. Your font size, 11 or 12, 10 at the lowest. I wouldn't go below that. Make sure that you have your sections in your resume, that they're very consistently formatted. You're going to have a column of dates running down the right side. Make sure that they are all formatted exactly the same and perfectly lined up. We're going to use single spacing to get as much on the page as we can. And we're going to add a space between each section just to make some visual white space so that the resume doesn't look too crowded. So thank you for your attention as we went through the basics of a resume. The best way to create your resume is to go one-on-one with a career specialist so we can answer your individual questions. You can make a 30-minute appointment through Handshake, through a phone call, or careers@umb.edu so we can tailor your resume to meet your specific needs. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your attention today.